Hello, my name is Shelly, and we're gonna do this super fun, exciting thing what I like to do called Shop My Stash. It's not new. Everybody does this, but my take on it is I am palette obsessed. I mean, I have this bookshelf behind me, which isn't even all of them. It's redonkulous. I need to do a declutter, but I don't even know where to start. So I like to every now and then, every couple months or so, like to inspect what I have and pull out some palettes that I was like, oh, I forgot about this, or I want to get into this brand a little bit more. I want to play around with these. And they're usually seasonally related color stories that I like to grab from. So thought I'd show you what we're playing with right now, or what I'm getting excited to play with right now. Okay, you guys, the only reason why I had to do that little weird transition piece is because my battery was dying and I needed to change that. Okay, you guys, this is probably a lot. I think there's like 15 individual palettes in here, but a couple of them are brands. And I think all of these I might have, well, let me just get into it. I'll try to group them together by the brands because I think that's an important thing to do. Let's start with Colourpop. These are some palettes that I've had. Some of them I've used before, some of them I have not. Two of them I've used before, two of them I have not. And these are ones that I was just like, I kind of want a late summer, low-key dig into these color stories. Here's one of them. This is the Mar palette. And when you first look at it, it almost looks a little bit like a, I don't want to say recent, but I don't know, 6 months or so ago, we had that Urban Decay palette. I think this is one of my is it a dupe kind of choices. But when I see this color story, I'm like, these bold colors just scream late summer or hot summer nights, dog days of summer, and then you can't go wrong with the neutrals. So that was one of the ones that I was like, I never played with that. I want to play with it some more. Here's one that I have used. In fact, I did a video on it. This is the Wild Child palette. And I have some breakage. Let me press this back down. This is a fantastic palette. I love that you've got some warm nudes and a little bit of cooler pops down here with these three. When I filmed with it and used it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so good. And I think I had maybe just come off of maybe using a palette that wasn't so great. So and now I want to go back into it and do kind of a second stab at it, since it is later in the year now, and I think those warmer bronzier, richer colors really translate well between late summer and early fall. Okay, California Love. And you're gonna be like, Shell, hey, are you using all neutral palettes? Well, no, not exactly. This one, you know, I know it's called California Love, and every time I think about it, I think it's going to be more orange than it is. You do have an orange, and then the, you know, this kind of bronzy shimmer. But for some reason, I'm just like, on a day-to-day, I love neutrals. I mean, I'm wearing minimal neutral eyeshadow right now, and it's because I was working, taking a break. So bye. Enjoy your break with me. Okay, so the neutrals. But this one is one that I have not ever used before. I think the colors are very similar to maybe the other two palettes, like the neutrals in it, but I want to get my brush into it and see. And then this one, Good as Gold. Similar color story. This, instead of the orange, this has got a yellow, hence the name Gold. Funny story, not really, about this. I actually filmed a video. I think I did a 3 looks 1 palette with this. Don't bother looking at my history because I never edited it and posted it. I filmed it when I first started my channel. I don't remember why, but I felt the quality was just complete shit, so I just didn't even edit it, and I pushed it aside. But I can come back and do it. If any of these that I'm talking about, if any of these palettes strike you as, oh, I have that, I forgot about that, or tell me more, or, you know, maybe it's still available and it's exactly what I'm missing, totally fine. Leave me a comment down below. I'll hook you up. I'll come back and we'll talk some more stuff. Okay, so another brand, probably a little, I'm gonna say less expensive, but more controversial, is CColor Cosmetics. And they do have some new palettes. I picked up 3 kind of relatively recent, but they're like 6-pan little tiny destination city palettes, which is fine. These ones came out a little while ago, but I've never used them. They were so intimidating. Look at this one, Jungle Fever. Oh my gosh, it still has the protector on it, so I'm gonna try not to glare you guys to death here. But these are mostly mattes, and it's a rainbow palette. It's bright and it's bold, and that is completely out of my comfort zone. except for maybe date night. And so I want to challenge myself a little bit here, but because this is one I haven't ever used and it's purportedly a dupe for something else, I figured it would be good to bring it in here. Now I don't have the original, so I'm not going to do a dupe video, but I've been impressed with CColor Cosmetics palettes and products before. This one is called Diamond. Yeah, this is also possibly a dupe for another brand. The other brand's palette looks nothing like this, in my opinion. From the shape, the size of the pans, everything else. You can see I got a little bit of breakage here. But otherwise, I've not touched this palette either. And this is predominantly shimmers. In fact, I think maybe every single one of these is a shimmer. Yeah, every single one of these in this palette is a shimmer of some kind. Not a pressed glitter, but a shimmer. Could work really well with an all matte palette. I don't know. I have this like easy everyday thing where I want to do just like some bronzer in my crease and then a swipe of a shimmer on the movable lid, and can't get much easier than that. Okay, here's a palette I've had for a long time. I want to say it's also maybe slightly controversial, not like horribly so. People have their opinions on this person as a YouTuber, but this is the Laura Lee LA Nudie Patootie palette. When I first look at this, I see the palest row and I'm completely uninspired. And it's not until I train my eye to look up at the darker row that I go, wait, this actually might interest me a little bit more. And you're gonna say, Shell, it's all nudes. Yes, but there's like some little bit of like kind of grungy colors in here, but then there's some sweet colors, and I don't know. I've never used it. I bought it because it was one that people were like, oh, everybody needs this palette, and it's been a while, but I've never actually used it before. So there's my justification for that. Okay, I did grab 2 of these Ace Beauty. I think it's Beauty. It's Beauté with the thing over the E. Anyway, I grabbed 2 of the palettes that I have from this line because I think these again were ones that it was like, I just want to play with them more. This is crazy. Look at this. Look at how bold these colors are. It's not your true like primary colors. I mean, maybe that's even almost like more like a tomato red. These aren't primary colors. This is a rainbow palette that is maybe a little edgy. They just seem a little dull. What's the name of this palette? This one's called Flare. It's the Flare palette. I don't know if I get Flare. Where'd you get Flare from? Maybe because there's a lot of colors, and so you have to have some flair to do it. Okay, the other one, I think this is the Blossom palette. Yeah, Blossom Passion is the name of this one. Again, another palette that I have not used. I've owned it. I bought it. When I bought it, I was like, oh, this looks like a great palette. And it's not as soft pink and pretty as one would think, because you do have some really vibrant, look at this red right here. So there's some bold colors. And like one little nod at a neutral over here. I mean, I guess that one maybe. But anyway, I thought this would be a good late summer, getting in a little bit into fall. Believe me, my fall palette collection is on point. I have so many fall palettes that it's kind of redonkulous. Okay, here is one that, again, haven't used. I've used other Too Faced products before, and they're fine. They just kind of bore me sometimes. You see the cute little ones at like TJ Maxx or Burlington Coat Factory or whatever else, and you go, oh yeah, I don't mind Too Faced. I'll pay $6 for this, and you use it, and it goes on your shelf. But this one, I really do feel like this is an every girl's everyday simple wear palette, and right now this is really appealing to me. So I like the kind of mauve tones. I like the cool tones. This is, I mean, a cool tone palette. You've got one warm bronze in here. This seems like one of those palettes where you literally reach for this every day and you don't have to think. And I don't know why I've been trying to be so creative. I do have 2 of these CKW Beauty palettes now. I know there's a new rebranding and all that. I did actually order the camo one while they were doing kind of like their closeout before all the new changes. And I haven't received it yet when I'm actually filming this. But this is it's Blossom. What was this called here? Classic Blossom. Somebody said they picked this up at Ulta just this last weekend and they didn't pay very much for it. And I don't remember if I got this on sale. Chances are I used a coupon anyway because I hardly pay full price for much. But the eyeshadow in this gal looks so beautiful, and I was like, I have that palette, I need to use it. Here's the thing with the KKW palettes, and I don't know if the new branding, because I haven't seen any releases for it yet, are going to be kind of the same. But I feel like the KK stuff It's like you do the smoky eye and then you do like the pale nude lip and then the contouring. So I might come back and do like a not a face full of KKW because, I mean, it's going to be harder and harder to find. But I did purchase like some of the contour stuff and some more of the lipsticks. I already had some from Ulta because they had a big closing out sale. And then I do have the classic palette too. Is that what it's called? Maybe softer than like the Too Faced Born This Way. Maybe a little bit softer than the Too Faced Born This Way palette. I think what appeals to me about this, and this is what I forget when I reach for palettes, is the days that I wear glasses. I wear glasses more days than not. And I don't go with heavy, bold, crazy eyeshadows because I don't want it to compete with my frames. I do things just a touch more subdued. So which is the reason why I thought some of these would actually be really good for the glass days. My favorite trick of all time is to use one of the Ofra Mini Mix palettes on days that I just know I'm working from home and my camera may come on, you know, for a call, but I'm wearing glasses and so I just don't want to have to think about makeup. When I want to play a little bit more, that's when I start thinking about things like these bad boys. And I did grab 3 palettes from Morphe. This one I have used and loved and still really used. In fact, I'm pretty sure that I've refilled with it. Probably 3 looks with 1 palette. This is the 35H. I think it's Hot to Trot. This is just everything you need for late summer, hot summer nights, you know, moving into early fall. There's just this richness, this density to these shades, and I actually like Morphe quality. I get a little kick up. This one gives me some of those pops of colors for date night, for something a little bit more fun and edgy and different. And then there's this one here. This is the Flirt palette. What is Natural Flirt? 35XO. I think this is still available. In fact, both of these might be still available, at least when I'm filming this. But this is kind of that classic Blossom KKW palette, but on crack, because there's so much more of it. These palettes are ginormous. I get these big palettes and then I forget to reach for them. But they are literally, if you buy 1 palette every few months, once a season, maybe even once a year, this might be your once a year palette. Yeah, you don't have crazy colors, but maybe you don't do crazy colors. Or maybe you pick up one of these to get your pop of color, but you use this as your foundation for the color story that you're using that day. So this one, I just recently took it out of the big box. I must have decided I didn't need it. And then this is the very last palette. This is about the size that I like. I like these little 9-pan palettes. This is the Painted Desert palette from Morphe. And again, it felt like late summer, early fall, apple in the air, kind of, I don't know. I got this like sort of warm, fuzzy, sunsetty feeling with this kind of mustard orange, this sort of cranberry color, this sort of sienna. I don't know. When I picked this up, I was like, oh yeah, I know exactly when I'm going to use this. This is going to be like late August to mid-September. This is what I'm going to love on this palette. So that's a lot. That's a lot of palettes. This big basket full. That is the palettes that are predominantly getting reached for. Now, that's not to say I might not grab another one. I might get back into, oh, hey, there's a Natasha Denona that I need to do videos on. The Natasha Denona, the Pat McGrath, the Charlotte Tilbury, the Marc Jacobs, all those high-end stuff. I love those, but sometimes I get scared to use them because they're so pretty and they're so fancy and they're so expensive, and sometimes I just want, I don't have to think about it. I just want the everyday. I want the no-brainer type eyeshadow combinations. So I would like to know from you guys, do you want me to come back with a 3 looks, 1 palette challenge with any of these? I'm happy to do so. Do you guys have any of these palettes? Are you now re-interested in them because I'm pulling them back out again? Are these color stories that you're reaching for? I mean, there is a lot of neutrals in here, and that can be boring if you're doing new neutral looks every single day. It can also be comforting and predictable, and you find out what works for you, and you emphasize your natural beauty. And then sometimes you step outside of your comfort zone a little bit, which is, as ladies of a certain age, or as a lady of a certain age, that's something I like to do every now and then. My husband loves it when I do these like crazy colors for date night, and I'm like, hey, we're going to listen to your daughter play. I just don't need to do crazy colors for date night. It's not appropriate, or whatever. Anyway, you guys, I hope you're doing really well. I think about you guys all the time. Even though I only post a couple days a week, it doesn't mean I don't think about you guys and hope that you're doing well. Thinking about you guys and your families and your situation, and I just want nothing but love and happiness for you. So if you are new here, feel free to hit that subscribe button. I'm on this journey. I don't get anything in PR. Nothing comes to me for free. I literally buy all this with my money. Sometimes my husband, you know, will surprise me with a palette or something, but for the most part, this is an investment I've made because this is my creative outlet. I know it's crazy to think about it, that I've got this much money invested in palettes, but I love makeup. Maybe you do too. And I'm not a makeup artist. Maybe you're not either. Maybe you're a lady of a certain age who's just doing the best you can with what you got. Or maybe you are a makeup artist, or maybe you're young and beautiful and vibrant and you are the epitome of edgy, fun, creative, and then my hat's off to you. I mean, I'm not wearing a hat, but it would be off to you if you are. One day you may be like me, or not. Maybe you'll be better. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing really well, and I gotta get out of here. Until my next video, bye for now.